Manly truths, movie views, and peaches abused. Coming up today on The Point. Hello and welcome to The Point, the only talk show bringing gay and straight men together to see what happens. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Today, things are a little mixed up. We've got Zaid away because he's shooting a movie.
Ooh.
Lucky him.
Way to go, Zaid. Be away, I guess.
And Doug is away because, he chose vacationing with his family over us.
Loser.
How rude.
The worst.
But she is so big that she can take the place of two people.
Me on my tits.
Both.
All three of you.
Ms. Faye Tality.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
you.
We haven't seen you in
It's been a
season
while.
2. Yeah, what have you been up to?
Working full time. Not doing this, but doing other stuff.
Okay. But keeping busy.
Oh yeah, God yeah.
Keeping busy.
Always busy.
And you look fabulous.
Super elegant.
I love the necklace.
Just walked out of bed.
Yeah, just like that.
Woke up like this. Okay, I'm good to go. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're good to go. So let's get into it. Talking point number 1, in the crosshairs. Okay, so actor and comedian Michael Ian Black wrote an op-ed in the New York Times that has caused much discussion. It's called "The Boys Are Not All Right." The thesis of the piece is that boys are growing up in toxic masculinity, and that is helping to create a culture that leads to things like the school shootings, like in Parkland, Florida. He says, this one line in particular, too many boys are trapped in the same suffocating, outdated model of masculinity where manhood is measured in strength, where there is no way to be vulnerable without being emasculated, where manliness is about having power over others. They are trapped, and they don't even have the language to talk about how they feel about being trapped, because the language that exists to discuss the full range of human emotion is still viewed as sensitive and feminine. Mm-hmm. So, and there he is. If you don't know him by name, you might recognize him. Does he have a point?
Absolutely. I feel like men or boys or whatever, especially myself when I was growing up, not really. My parents were really good, but just to not really express things or to not get mad or express how you're feeling if you're feeling sad or something like that, like don't cry or like man up and stuff like that has always been a big thing in my culture, like coming from a small town and stuff like that. So yeah, just like not really expressing how you feel. And when you bottle things up, it's horrible to do, right? Because then you exert it in other ways that might be unhealthy, like getting in fights or what have you.
I think a lot of gay men, it's easy for us to recognize that, but do you find it that straight men have a hard time? I mean, he's straight, but do you find that this is sort of like, as a straight guy, you can't say that or you can't talk about this?
Well, you're not supposed to, right? And I think that's what you're brought up with.
Yeah.
And then like the whole, and we sort of touched on it like off camera earlier, but like the language is like, grow some balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that. That's all very masculine and portrays like a certain image that you're supposed to have as a man, right? Grow some balls, don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
All these things point to a very hyper masculinity. So yeah, when growing up, I used to have that too. You get punched and you don't cry, you pussy, like just things like that. So yeah, I can see that would cause an issue growing up because you don't know how then to express yourself without being deemed, a pussy.
Exactly, and the whole like be more powerful thing or something like that is like if that does happen, if you do get punched, then you just beat them up more or something like that, or like fight back, which is like it's okay, I guess, but like there's other ways to go about it, right?
Does this have an impact then on gun culture and how people view guns?
I don't think so. I don't. I wasn't really raised with guns. Like my other side of my family, like my dad's side, they're hunters and stuff like that. But I mean, like all their things are locked
I
up
can
and
sort of
whatnot,
see
so.
that. I can sort of see it though because there's something, right? Like we live in a country where guns aren't that prevalent, but sports are. So our outlet then becomes things like sports.
Exactly.
Right. But if you are in surrounded in a culture where guns is a sign of masculinity, I'm sure that's where you would go to, right?
And
Yeah,
the
but
bigger
like
the gun.
I've never been around guns, and I like guns. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Do you see them as
But it's
tied
more like
to?
no, like target practice, like more like a toy, obviously, as opposed to like a weapon. But it's like people going axe throwing. It's a weapon, and you're going to have a good time and like throw shit at a target. So I kind of see that in the same way, but of course it's a lot worse because in America you can just.
You can just buy one.
Faye, I think you are closer to school age than the rest of us, if I may put it like that. You're the youngest at the table.
Yeah.
When you were in school, how did you, as somebody who is, I mean, you play around with gender
Yeah.
in your life. How did you experience issues of masculinity and manliness as you were growing up?
I guess with me, like with my mom, she always told me to be my authentic self. So it wasn't really that kind of like back and forth. I mean, with my dad, I didn't get to see him that much, but it was always like, oh, try to be manly. Like I couldn't get to play with the women, like girls in the neighborhood. I had to play with the guys. Meanwhile, that just made me more gay. Like, good, yeah, okay. I don't play with the women. I play with the guys. But,
Touch football, yes!
so into
Let's
that.
wrestle!
Yeah. It helped me so much in later life.
But it's also very conditional of like where you grow up and like your school and your friends, right? Like,
Wait, yeah, well, also, see, I was actually, in some way, demasculinized more by women when I was growing up than men. Like, I actually got picked on more growing up by women.
Really?
By girls in my group, I was more afraid.
Why?
They were just more like,
Evil?
yeah, they were just more evil, and they actually literally would kick me, and I had to like, yeah, they actually got violent with me to the point where we actually have 2 girls suspended because they were bullying me.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Do you find that this is still a problem in, when it comes to young people today, that it's still, I mean, because this comes up because of the high school shootings,
never gonna go away.
right? Do you find that this is still an issue amongst millennials?
In some way, I guess they're all really impressionable. Like you can say you can't say they're doing this because of a certain thing, but I mean I guess it's more about as you're growing up, the older people, it's a little bit looser. I feel like nowadays we're trying to be a little bit more strict. So I guess nowadays the younger generation should be a little bit more smarter than the previous generation.
I think it's a lot better because now everyone kind of considers themselves queer as opposed to like a specific,
Yeah,
like they're
that's
gay.
true.
or
Not
whatever.
everybody. I mean, if
Like
we're
I've seen a lot more of kids in high school now coming out and just being okay with themselves.
right,
in
but
that
if you're
way.
in the deep South,
Right.
and,
Obviously, yeah, that's not
I mean,
gonna
it's going to be a different culture. The one thing that I was a little bit, I don't think Michael Ian Black is saying that this is the only problem. But I hope people don't read this as saying it is the only problem. If we just deal with the issue of toxic masculinity, we solve the problem.
No, there's so much more than that.
Of course.
Well, it's definitely like mental health, isn't it?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
But I feel like bullying has also hit a new level with cyberbullying and everything. like
well,
that, right?
but
you can get
Trump-
attacked on all angles by several people.
Trump.
Can I just point out that he also said that shooters are always men. You never
Yeah,
see
exactly.
a woman.
Yeah. Well, and what does that say?
Like that's crazy.
What does
Yeah.
that say? Trump actually is planning on meeting with video game executives to discuss school violence.
Yeah.
Because to him the problem
ridiculous.
is violent video games.
I
And-
mean,
Somebody posted about that on my Facebook and was like, I've been playing video games forever,
Yeah.
and I've
Make you
never
a
wanted to go
violent
and shoot
person.
a school up.
Well,
Exactly, like I play Grand Theft Auto. It's not like I'm gonna go and shoot
drag somebody out of a car and, like,
Exactly, right?
run over a
Well, I mean, it's like that episode of Family Guy where Peter lost his license, and what Lewis does is it gives him Grand Theft Auto. It's like, here, play this for 8 hours, and you'll learn how to drive.
Yeah. I mean, there are some people that say, some people in the psychology field who say that by using things like video games or watching movies, you can actually work out these fantasies that you may have in your head, so you don't do it in real life. To me, it just seems like avoiding the issue. I mean,
I don't know why he's meeting with people.
Australia had a huge shooting in the 90s.
Banned
They
guns.
banned assault weapons, and they haven't had a big mass shooting since. Right? I mean, all of these other countries in the developed world, they have the same issues of mental health and
Video games,
and
Marilyn
movies.
Manson,
and
whatever
yet
else you want to play.
they don't have mass shootings. Why? Because people don't have access
Exactly.
to these kinds of weapons.
I was reading this one article, and it was there's at least 15 to 16 steps in most other countries to get any sort of gun, and the States is like maybe a background check, get a gun.
Right.
That's it.
And it's easier to get
maybe.
a rifle than it is a handgun.
A handgun, yeah.
Right? And
crazy.
so that's the thing. So you can go in and literally just apply to get a rifle, whereas a handgun, there's a waiting period, which is what's the logic behind that?
No,
Why is that even in their constitution? Like, I just want to know why.
From the Wild Wild West.
okay.
Like, give them like literal bare arms. Like, just give them bare arms and they
Like
can live.
bare arms?
Yeah.
No, there has been, okay, we're running out of time on this, but the Second Amendment has been completely misconstrued. The Second Amendment was about having muskets to fight against a tyrannical government.
So why
right?
has
Like
that
the
never
king.
been changed?
It's not that the Second Amendment is a problem. It's the way people interpret the Second Amendment is a
Absolutely.
problem. If you want to have muskets and cannonballs to fight against a tyrannical monarchy, go for it.
Yeah.
Isn't it also if you read the rest of the Second Amendment, it's to bear arms for an organized militia.
Right. Yes, it's not. You are on a no-fly list.
Yeah.
Because you're a risk, and yet the Constitution says you have the right to own any gun you want.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
that is not what the Second Amendment says, and I'm getting upset. So now it's time for Tito's midpoint.
Relax.
Wow.
This week we're playing Moot Point and it's Oscars related. So I'll give you two
Because
answers.
the
and you'll
Oscars just happened.
Yeah.
We all just watched the Oscars.
We did.
It's all right. Yeah, nothing bad.
Congratulations to all of the winners.
That movie that won.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one. Yeah,
Congrats.
that one.
And,
great
and
one.
that best actor.
Oh my god, so
Great,
good.
great.
So good.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you two answers and you have to decide between one or the other which one's moot or which one's true, okay? Got it?
Absolutely.
Got it.
Stop looking at me. I'm gonna be okay.
You'll be okay. Of all the supporting actor and actress nominees this year, only two have previously won an Oscar. One is Christopher Plummer for his supporting role in Beginners, and the other is what actress for her supporting role in a 2011 film? Was it Octavia Spencer or Mary J. Blige?
Octavia.
Spencer.
For what?
The
The numbers.
The Help.
Oh, is
The
that
Help.
help?
Which current Best Actor nominee also appears in Lady Bird in a supporting role? Is it Timothée Chalamet or Gary Oldman?
Oh, Timothée
Timothée
Chalamet.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wow.
Three of this year's supporting role nominees have won Emmys for supporting roles on television: Allison Janney, Laurie Metcalf, and who? Woody Harrelson or Alice Janney?
Woody
Harrelson. Because you already said Harrelson.
I know. I put it in there again.
But what did Woody Harrelson win for?
For
Oh, is it?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, really? Wow.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What else would he win for? Really?
That's not very nice.
Of the three Best Actor nominees, which previous Oscar nominations with previous Oscar nominations, yes, only one has won Best Supporting Actor. Who is he? Denzel Washington or Daniel Day-Lewis?
Daniel Day-Lewis won Best.
Denzel Washington?
Denzel. I say Denzel.
Both of them.
Oh, I was gonna say, trick question. Okay, because I'm pretty sure they.
Yeah, they both won.
Yeah. Well done.
Tricked you.
Oh.
Current Best Supporting Actress nominee Mary J. Blige has received an outstanding 31 Grammy nominations and 9 Grammy wins throughout her career. But there is another Best Supporting Actor / Actress nominated this year who once received a Grammy nomination. Who is it? Christopher Plummer or Sam Rockwell?
Sam Rockwell.
Christopher Plummer.
Sound of Music.
For real?
Maybe?
The Nutcracker.
Oh.
Though not nominated for an Academy Award, what actor had a standout year with supporting roles in 3 movies nominated for Best Picture: Call Me by Your Name, The Post, and The Shape of Water? Is it Michael Stuhlbarg or Timothée Chalamet?
Michael Sturberg.
Sturberg.
Stuhlbarg.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Sturberg.
It was the father in Call Me by Your Name. And
I
he
want to
was
see
the-
that. Was it good?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I haven't watched. I don't think I've watched any Oscar-nominated movie.
Yeah, I just don't watch
I watched
them.
one of them.
Of the 4 Best Actress nominees, which previous Oscar nominations only one has won Best Supporting Actress? Who is she? Meryl Streep or Margot Robbie?
Meryl Streep.
For?
For supporting? Or for?
Yes. Only one has won Best
Did
Supporting
she win
Actress.
for supporting?
What was she?
When is she ever
I was gonna
supporting?
say, yeah.
It was for Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh, back in the day.
Wait, she was supporting actress?
Isn't she one of the Kramers
Yeah.
in that?
Yeah.
Only one has won Best Supporting Actress.
The other Kramer was the lead. That's why.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay.
Last one. Best Supporting Actress nominee Leslie Manville was once married to and has a child with what actor also up for an Academy Award?
Leslie Mann or Manville?
Manville.
I said Manville.
From Phantom Thread.
Gary Oldman or Daniel Day-Lewis?
Gary Oldman.
I'll say Gary Oldman.
Yes.
Gary Day-Lewis.
Yeah. All
Nice try.
Well, thank you, Tito, for today's Oscar-worthy midpoint. And thank you, Tito, for that lead-in to talking point number 2, Call Me by Your Billboards. So,
Call me by your
truth be told, we shoot our show Sunday afternoons. Of course, the Oscars are on Sunday night. So, even though you have seen the Oscars, we have not. But that doesn't mean that we can't criticize the movies that were nominated. I put up, okay, so the Oscar nominees for Best Picture: Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
It's the longest.
3 billboards.
This is a shot from Call Me by Your Name, which was like the big gay movie of the year. No one else at this table has seen it, right? I'm actually because it's nominated for Best Picture and people love it. Oh, and it's a gay love story, and
It's not the first gay love story that was
Did
nominated.
Moonlight win last?
No, but it is a gay love story, and it's the gay movie that's nominated this year, and it's getting all this.
All nominated movies are
Does it
boring.
have to be the gay
always.
movie? Can it just be the movie?
Well,
I kind of straight guy say this.
How did you like it?
I did not really like
Exactly.
this movie. I didn't.
Why?
I did.
Is it set in the 80s?
It's set in the 80s. I didn't really buy the relationship. There's a
that's no
twist
good.
at the end about his father that I didn't buy. But like, why would he be attracted to Armie Hammer's character? Armie Hammer is supposed to be the hunk. He's not a hunk. He's actually kind of an ass.
Oh, he's totally hunky. That guy?
Yeah, he's still hunky.
I do him.
Yeah. That's not that.
Okay.
I wouldn't kick it out of bed.
Obviously, I'm wrong.
I have coffee. in the morning.
I didn't.
But like, what's the age gap in that?
24 and 17.
Okay, that's not. That's,
Well,
That's not that bad.
that's. I mean.
No,
there-
but like for a 24-year-old to be into a 17-year-old is a bit.
yeah.
Well, that's only 7 years. I mean, there have been movies where like the guy is 60 and the girl's
but,
20.
like, how twinky do you need to be?
Whatever. The age gap thing is a little. I mean, he's 17. Supposedly, Armie Hammer gave an interview where the age of consent in Italy in the 80s was 16, so
Of course, they had
it
to-
wasn't an issue in the film. I don't know. I
Didn't
found
like
it.
it.
I found the movie slow, kind of boring. Let the hating begin.
But was the love story
Thepointguys
nice?
at gmail.com.
Was the love story nice?
It's okay. It's a first
So
love.
you just did not like
Okay,
it
well,
at
I'll
all.
watch it.
There was no Brokeback Mountain.
You're not selling it very well at all.
No, I didn't. I know people hate me for
Okay,
this.
what else did everyone watch?
Get Out. 3 Billboards is gonna win in my opinion. That movie was the best.
Oh, see, I think
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Is it good?
Really?
You didn't like
I
it?
can't stand that woman, so I never watched it.
Oh, she's such a great character.
Let's get into this because
Okay.
I did not like 3 Billboards.
Why?
I thought the Sam Rockwell character was way over the top. Like, he was a cartoon. He wasn't real, so I didn't buy it.
Okay.
There's that one scene where he's
You're
in
not
the...
buying anything.
Where he's in the...
Yeah. What do you buy?
Right?
What are you selling?
Right. He's in the police and he's reading the documents and there's a fire going on behind him. And like, so it's really like he's in the dark, he's alone, it's night. There's a fire going on behind him. So it's lighting up the room and there's heat coming in and he's like, I didn't believe it. And I'm sorry, the worst
Bored already.
worst CGI deer I've ever seen in my life.
What?
There's a scene with Frances McDormand where she's in a field with the billboards and
fake
she
deer?
has this moment where a deer walks by and it's so fake.
Yeah.
Like the Twilight baby?
So fake. I mean, no, it wasn't Bambi. It wasn't animated. It
Wasn't
was
it
just
supposed to be fake though? Like I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be like. I don't know. That's the way that I took it.
Well,
I don't know
why did you like it?
I just like the story and the conviction, and I love the main woman's acting. Like I just like yeah.
She should win
Yeah.
Best Actress. I have no.
I also liked how it's based on his true story as well,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
for whatever reason, that always resonates well with me is that it actually happened on true events, and like somebody was like that convicted about their daughter's situation, and like
I mean, the concept of the movie is great, and
Yeah.
I like that. I just
you just didn't like certain points and stuff like that. I liked
yeah,
it. Have you seen Dunkirk?
I have not seen Dunkirk.
Okay. If you want to be stressed out during an entire movie,
Yeah.
that's the movie you want to see.
Yeah.
Like always, like
Well, I
Heart Attack
watched
City.
Shape of Water.
How was that?
See, which I loved.
And if you watch sci-fi, it has been done a million times before.
But it's not about the.
It's just another
the
love
journey.
story between a person and a creature.
And a water person.
Who cares?
But it's beautifully done. It's
is.
fun.
I'll give it that.
It's entertaining. Guillermo del Toro, the director, creates a beautiful world.
I do like
It
all the
moves.
water elements in the movie is really great, but just like I don't know why everyone's so obsessed with it.
Get Out.
See,
That's my pick.
See,
Get Out,
Get
yeah,
Out. I would
that was
love.
like-
Yeah, but that's never gonna win.
It's never gonna win, but if it
You don't think
does,
it's
that's
never
gonna
gonna- you don't think it's gonna
blow
win?
the
No
doors
way.
off of the Academy.
Well, but
Yeah.
It
nobody
hasn't
thought.
won anything else.
No,
any
nobody
award
thought
show.
it has won independent movie awards. Nobody thought Moonlight would win. In fact, even Warren Beatty and
Hated them.
did.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I hated that one
I
too.
hated that movie too.
Which one?
Moonlight.
Moonlight.
So
I liked
boring.
Moonlight. I liked Moonlight.
Got 2
I-
seconds
I
with
was
La
a
La
little-
Land.
so
One, I was like,
boring.
okay, good, yay.
Yeah, me
Those
too.
two, okay,
I was a little meh on La La Land, so I was happy that Moonlight
Fair.
won.
I liked it.
I hope Get Out wins.
I hope Get Out
Yeah.
wins. I hope 3 Billboards does not win, and I would be very happy if Shape of Water wins. Did anybody see Lady Bird?
Not yet.
No.
That's another one where
Have
I
you
just kind of went.
have you seen all of them?
I've seen Call Me by Your Name, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards. I have not seen Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, and The Post.
Our Darkest Hour is really good too, and I just love Gary Oldman. I've been meaning to watch that
he's
movie
so
for
good.
months now, but I just.
They all
haven't
bore
gotten
me to
around
death.
Well, what I think is funny is that Dunkirk and The Darkest Hour are both about the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
It's
kind of
crazy,
funny.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Why is it stupid?
Why are you
on,
such
let's-
a hater?
Let's just move on.
Get
Let's
out.
just move on. You know why?
I want to watch that one. Yeah. That's
You know why he wants us to move on? Because if we move on, we move on to the Bop of the Week.
Hey.
Oh my God, Bobby League is so good. It's Khalid and Normani, and it's called Love Lies.
Okay, now what's
Love Lies
what's the
or Love
difference?
Lies?
There's a
Love
Khalid
Lies.
And DJ Khaled.
and but it's spelled the same way.
No, it's not.
It's not. How does Khalid and Khalid?
2 E's, right?
Khalid has an I and Khaled has an E. Like
No.
yes.
Oh.
I don't know. We need to look into this.
Another one. Sorry.
We gotta get our research department on this.
Khaled has an E, no?
So
Did you ever witness
So,
while we have our research department look into the Khalid.
DJ Khaled has an E and Khalid has an I. I'm
No,
pretty
they both
sure.
have an I.
No, DJ Khaled is an E.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is he? I mean.
See, we don't. Is this
There's no
like the
I in
Bearstein Bears? People think.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right?
it's spelled
I grew up
differently.
like that.
Yeah.
I finally watched a YouTube video about that. I'm like, holy shit, the whole.
It's the Mandela effect.
yeah, the Mandela
Yeah.
effect. Yeah, it's like
Fair-
Bearstein. we all think it's Bill Steinbales, but it's actually Bill Steinbales.
Stein? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Because we think it,
Yeah.
and then collectively we
Yeah.
think it's.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with DJ Khaled,
Yeah.
isn't it, Tito? Just say yes.
Sure.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Press the red button. Helps us greatly, costs you nothing. You can also check us out on Revry, the world's largest LGBTQ online streaming service. Check us out there as well as all of their great original content. You can also help us out by going to our crowdfunding site. That's on Patreon. It's patreon.com/thepointguys. You can also download our audio version, the podcast, on iTunes. Check us out there. I've already given you the email address to go after me for not liking Call Me By Your Name. Again, that's thepointguys@gmail.com. Of course, if your fingers are too orange from all the cheese doodles, from all of your social media trolling. No, because people have already gone after me for not liking Call Me By Your Name. But you can also comment your hatred at me on Facebook and Twitter at The Point.
Comment your hatred at me. Wow.
Well, people are very possessive of their movies.
Yes, I guess.
And music.
And music.
Maybe sometimes your
DJ
pop's not the bomb.
DJ
so
Khaled.
DJ Khaled? DJ
Listen,
Khaled? Is it Khaled?
I'm just
DJ
gonna-
Khaled? Or is it Khalid and DJ Khaled?
Are you done?
Wow. This is gonna be
We have a new show every
Fight, ladies
Tuesday,
and
so
gentlemen.
we will see you next Tuesday on The Point.